So good morning, everybody, and welcome to Caffeine and Quarantine. I am your pastor, Aaron Sturgis, and I'm coming to you live from my home in quarantine. And so I want to welcome all of you here, where we just want to gather, and we want to basically have some coffee together, have some caffeine together. And we always talk about at Central. We always talk about bringing Jesus into your first cup of coffee every morning to tune your lives, tune your life for the day with God, with Jesus in that first cup. So why not have that second cup of coffee or tea or whatever beverage of your like with your pastor? So welcome to Caffeine and Quarantine, episode number 4. I have a really special guest on today, and again, this guest is a pastor, so we got to jump right into it because we will talk forever. But I just want to welcome everybody. I want to say everybody who's watching, Mary Geisler, welcome. It's so good to see you on, and you're finally able to watch live. Dave George, good morning from Cadott. I hope halfway to the equator is doing well over there. Sarah LeMay, good to see you. Sarah was on last Monday, or actually just this last Monday. So if you want to go back and check it out, come back and go back and watch as we talk with Sarah LeMay about student ministry and what's happening at Central. So Lynette Severson, good morning. My coffee is ready. Awesome. Barb Walk. Oh, Barb's got her tea. You can always rely on Barb to tune in and have her tea. I'm so happy. Hey, this is awkward. Ned Lenhart, good morning, everybody. He's on. He's coming on in a couple of seconds here. Amanda Hanson, so good to see you. Good morning to you as well. I hope you have your coffee. Good morning, Pam. Megan, neighbor Megan. Oh, so good to see you. We have to have our boys FaceTime today. My son really misses your son, so we got to get him back on. So just welcome, everybody. And I am going to pipe in. I'm going to pipe in Pastor Ned Lenhart, who's a really, really good friend of mine. He actually, I don't think we ever signed a contract saying he was, but I look to him as a mentor. He's someone I can call up anytime I need some advice, some leadership guidance. He's an awesome hunter. I love going out grouse hunting with him, pheasant hunting with him, but he's just an all-around great guy to hang out with. So I want everybody to give Ned a warm Central Lutheran welcome. So there is Ned. Welcome, Ned. It's so awesome to see you, and I am just delighted that you chose to come on Caffeine and Quarantine instead of going and sitting in a turkey blind. So thank you.
You're welcome. Good to be here. I'm humbled by that introduction. I don't know if I can live up to that, but I'll do the best I can.
It's not yours to live up to. Don't worry. You're just awesome. Ashley Smith is on. She says hi to you. This is awesome.
Good to be here. I'm humbled by that introduction. I don't know if I can live up to that, but I'll.
Yeah. So it's not yours to live up to. Don't worry. Well, you got to. Can you turn down? I think you're watching the screen. Can you watch the feed? I can hear I heard myself on there, and I'm like, what's going on? Yeah.
Okay, I'll turn it off.
Yeah, that's okay.
There we go.
That was here. Hey, speaking of listening to yourself talk, do you like going back and watching your messages? At Living Water? I cannot stand it. That's been the hardest part of this whole quarantine thing is worshiping with everybody online and having to sit and listen to myself. I'm like, I really sound like that? Oh my God.
Uh-huh. It's I think there's a special kind of pain that comes with having to not just watch yourself but listen to yourself both, where you can't believe you sound like that, first of all, and then secondly, that insecure part of you says, why would anybody, let alone even my family, listen to that voice? We are so highly critical of ourselves when we're watching and listening. So, yep, I can totally relate.
Absolutely. So, okay, what do you got in your coffee cup?
Coffee cup this morning. Well, I start the day with a triple espresso, literally. So here it is. And I throw a bunch of foam in there. I can't really show the inside of it, but then we put a little bit of chocolate sprinkles on the top there. So here
Yeah.
we are.
So you switched to tea because before we started the episode this morning, you said, "Yeah, I've been up a couple hours by the time you even get up." Right? So
Correct. Yeah. That's we have a discipline Jill and I do where we get up right around 5 o'clock, 4:35, and we go for about an hour walk with our dog, and then come back and start the day with coffee and breakfast and devotion and all that kind of stuff, and make our lunches, everything for the day. We're early risers.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Kathy Bovey says good morning. Amanda Hanson says good morning to you as well.
All
Um,
right.
so hey, yeah? Tell us a little bit. What's the life? What's a day in the life of the Lenhart family during quarantine? I mean,
Hmm.
I don't picture you as like a Netflix binge watcher kind of guy. I picture you as someone who can't like this is this truly a nightmare for someone like you who can't sit still to begin with, and is
Hmm.
all over having to just kind of sit still.
Well, first of all, you notice that whenever I do Zoom meetings, I stand up. So that way I can move around a little bit and feel like I'm not just stuck in one spot. So I'm standing right now. But yeah, that's a great question. What's our house like? To back up a bit, some of you may know that I was on sabbatical and went to New Zealand and Australia, and we were planning to be there till the end of March. And we came back about mid-March because of COVID. And the joke in our house is that we went down under for a while and we came back to a world that was upside down.
Oh,
And
yep.
literally, that's been what ministry has been like for me. My wife is a family physician, having to rethink and reimagine how to do medicine in a COVID world. Um, we, as a result, we all work from home. And if you could imagine this, we have just your average ranch style house. In one bedroom is my daughter who's doing homeschool upstairs. In another bedroom, my wife has transformed our master bedroom into her office where she attends meetings all day, sees patients virtually online, and then she goes into the office a little bit too. Uh, I'm in the office here doing my work 3 or 4 days a week, and then I go up to Living Water in Cameron. And then down in the basement, our oldest daughter came home from Denver, and she teaches math in the Denver public school system from our basement 5 days a week. So we're all here together, but we're all doing our own thing, and we get together for meals and in the evening and games. But that's a snapshot of what life
Yeah.
is like here in our house.
Wow. So basically, let's see here. At the end of January, we began this little partnership with Living Water for 1 month in February because uh, you began your sabbatical, what was supposed to be a sabbatical through Easter,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of January. But yeah, life kind of threw a huge curveball at you and your wife and family when you were traveling during your sabbatical. I can't imagine what it was like. So um, that's a fascinating experience going down under, coming back to a world that's turned upside down. Have you ever? What are some of your thoughts about what life is going to look like when we finally get to the other side of this COVID-19? Whether it's this initial opening up our states or heaven forbid, and I'm hoping the experts are wrong, but man, it doesn't sound like it, that we have a second wave next fall into winter. But nonetheless, when we're finally done and we're finally putting this little event, this huge, significant event on the pages of our history books, Do you think going to be a little change, or there's going to be a massive shift and change in our culture? What are your thoughts about that? Because people are just starting to talk about that, because we're just starting to realize, wow, you mean to tell me people can teach classes from Chippewa Falls to students in Denver? I mean, that's just, I can't, wait, I don't have to commute an hour to an hour and a half to my workplace.
Mhm.
And, just share some thoughts, because I love how you just love to look at culture and society and study it. So what are you thinking?
Well, to paraphrase somebody who said it way better than I can, that the COVID has not been the biggest problem, or what it's done. And I'm just totally messing this up, but what it's done is exposed a lot of problems that were already there,
Mm-hmm.
or challenges that were already there, or needs that were already there. And I think as we look at church, that's really case in point. For churches like Central and Living Water, for us, we both have been streaming online for a while now. We've developed an online presence, and we're connecting with families virtually already. And what's that's taught us is that there's a whole um, culture out there for whom getting to church on a Sunday morning, getting into a building, is a big obstacle. And for us to assume that we will just continue to do what our forefathers and mothers did, of gathering Sunday morning and putting Sunday morning aside for worship and church, is something that ship sailed a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking, I think, something like this for us to realize that we have an opportunity here with the need to be online, the need to be streaming, the need to be virtual, to really imagine church very differently for everybody. And for all of us to just gather in this big experiment and say, okay, what can we do in this time when we're sheltering at home and we're so apart, to really help build connections with people virtually and build faith in families, do our mission as church, be church, but be it in a way that really speaks to the needs, the hearts of this generation. Not just saying, okay, we're going to keep doing what we've always done, but yeah, we hopefully will be back to that. But how can we be church a little bit differently?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so what does that look like for us? At Living Water, one of the things that we're trying to do is to take our worship service on a Sunday morning and say, okay, we've always wanted it to be more interactive with the people who are not in the building. Well, how can we do that? So we're playing with some things, inviting people to send in videos of say for children's time, like the White Bucket Central has. One of the things we're doing is asking children to send in a big question, and you and I've talked about that, of how we can do that. Another thing that we're doing is online polling. Have polls that we set up, and that people can answer in real time, so that if we ask questions during worship about something we're talking about, they can speak back to that, and we can put their answers up on the screen and share that and talk about it
Mm-hmm.
during the worship service. So
Yeah.
how to make it real for people who are not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the quote is, viewers are going to view and watch, but people who are engaged are going to engage your worship service. And so
Mhm.
that's the challenge and the task of churches. And what I find so fascinating is, you know, um, we went we are always still stuck in the Sunday is still carved out as our church time. That's faith time,
Mhm.
that 1 hour Sunday morning. But ever since this started, it's been amazing to watch my fellow colleagues get really innovative. Colleagues who said, I don't need to worry about that Facebook thing because my people are not on Facebook, all of a
Yeah.
sudden are saying, hey, join me on Facebook, join me on YouTube, and
Mhm.
they're doing it awesome with the tools they have. But
Yeah.
then the best part is to see how they're realizing this faith thing isn't just stuck on Sunday mornings. To watch everybody do different things throughout the week, whether it's caffeine and quarantine
Yeah.
like this, or noon devotions, or I think you guys, uh, if you're watching, tune in to Living Water on Wednesday nights, right at 7 or 6:30.
6:30.
6:30, you have this 2020 opportunity, kind of the same thing, prayer and
Mm-hmm.
devotion time, message time in the evening. So tune into Living Water. So that's been just really awesome to watch. So how are you leading Living Water through all of this? What is your focus as a pastor, and how are you helping Living Water navigate this place of uncertainty?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the things it comes down to is really one word, and that's engagement. Throughout all of this, as we were wondering what we're doing online, we always like to know as pastors, is it working? Is what we're doing on Sunday morning, Wednesday night, Monday through Friday, is it actually working? And then how do you measure, for lack of a better word, success? In the past we had our tools, right? We used how many butts in the pew, like how many people are showing up, how much offering is being given, and those are have been reliable metrics over the years. But in a virtual, technology-driven era that we're in, the COVID area, how do you measure what's working and what isn't? And I think one of the things I found funny was a conversation I was on with a bunch of pastors on Monday, where they were all talking about how the numbers have just gone through the roof for church. Well, as we talked deeper and kind of drilled down into what that meant, everybody was measuring attendance differently. They were measuring success differently. So I think it's important to ask the question, how are we measuring what we're doing in terms of its impact in people? And one of the things at Living Water that we've tried to focus on, back to your question, is engagement. How are we engaging people? How many, not just clicks are we getting or likes? Yeah, that's not a very good measure. Even views is a little iffy. But how many people are connecting with our ministry? How many people are saying, yes, I'd like to be part of a small group? How many people are saying, hey, I've got a prayer petition I'd like to give? How many people are saying, yes, I'll show up for the food distribution next month in my gear and garb so that I'm safe? Just those little things. How many people are sending in videos of their children for children time? Just keeping track of that so that we're
Yeah.
engaging people with the faith.
Yeah.
That to me is the best metric.
Yeah, it's been I'm with you because it's watching our numbers on Facebook and the clicks and the view is great, but when you drill down, you're kind of like you kind of like, wait, we can use those numbers to say anything we want them to say, basically. And I can get caught in the trap of looking at those numbers to make me feel good, as a pastor, because it's like,
Yep.
you don't know how things are going. Terry Wells, good morning. He's watching from Irvine Park. Caroline, good morning to you. Jeannie Canfield, so awesome. Mary Geisler says she's tuned in to Living Waters on Wednesdays as well. Here's the best part. Here's engagement. I love this. Dave George lives in Cadott. Judy George, his mother, lives in Eau Claire. They're both watching, and he says, "Good morning, Mom." And she says, "Good morning, Dave." I love it. This is what I love. This is what I love about technology. But okay, back to Living Water. One of the things, when you planted Living Water, Ruby's Pantry became a part of your DNA right from the beginning. And I have I've been wowed and impressed with seeing how Living Water continues to keep that at the forefront, at the center of who they are, and how you are sharing and telling the story, seeing the parking lot lined up. Tell a little bit about how you're doing Ruby's Pantry, because isn't it crazy? You designed your facility to be flexible for Ruby's Pantry, correct? And then now you don't even need a facility. You're just kind of it's all in the parking lot. Explain a little bit about how you guys are running with Ruby's Pantry.
Well, the very first building that we built was our garage, this 30 by 60 food garage, so that we could take care of and house our food ministry. And it was only a year later we actually built the building within which we would worship. So that really has been a cornerstone for us. With COVID, when it came along, we first said, okay, can we even do this? will we be allowed to do it? Well, turns out we are an essential service delivering food, so we can do it. Then the next question is, how do we keep everybody safe when we know we can't have everybody 6 feet apart all the time? We are going to be a little closer. So how do you glove up, mask up, so that we really keep people as safe as we possibly can? So those were challenges we had to overcome. And then our guests, typically, they come in the building. We have free food for them to eat, a breakfast. We have free clothes and dry goods for them to shop. They can take anything they want to. There's a worship band playing. We have a nurse or doctor on hand to do health checks. All of that we had to just hit the pause button on and say, okay, if we have to keep everybody in their car, then we're going to need some help. Well, guess who came to the rescue? The Cameron Fire Department. Uh, 2 months in a row now, they've been great. They show up and they direct traffic. They line everybody up in these big long lines in the parking lot, and then people are parked down the road. They just come through, pop their trunk, throw the food in, and it works really pretty slick. So
that's
yeah.
amazing, and to see the community like Cameron coming together like that with the fire department and stuff. That's awesome. Hey, I'm supposed to. Amber Ebert said good morning to two of my favorite pastors from Cameron.
All right.
And then right after that, there's my dad. He's watching. Good morning, Dad. But Amber, my dad was your pastor as well, so
Uh-huh.
I'll leave that between those two. So this is awesome. So good morning, Amber. Good morning, Dad. So what are your
Yeah.
plans? What are you looking for? What are the signs, or what's going to have to happen before Cameron starts to come together and begin meeting in the church again? I mean, how are you navigating that? Because right now at Central, we're in the process of putting together kind of a task force, a leadership team that's going to kind of basically look at the risks, possibly come up with a timeline, but really just kind of sit back and wait it out for the next couple of weeks. But to come up with a contingency plan about what that looks like. What about you? How are you navigating that too?
Mm-hmm. I think, the short answer is there's a whole lot we don't know right now. And it's tough being in a time like this when we wish we knew more, we wish we could plan further out, and we can't. And for those of us who build our lives around planning and just really love to dream and vision, we're going to do this in a month, we're going to do this in 5 months, this in 12 months. This virus poses a really huge challenge because we just don't know. At Living Water, we are looking at all the ways we can phase things in over time, starting with people having watch parties at their homes with people in their sheltering at home group, or the people that they're safe with, maybe joining those together with other groups, again practicing safe distance practices over time. That's just very, very preliminary. At this point, we know that people are not going to want to be in close quarters with one another, especially without a mask, until we have some kind of vaccine, or until this virus just burns itself out. That this is a real threat until one of those two things happens.
Yeah.
So we're planning to just be in this for the long haul. Grateful we've got a great streaming presence and have worked that up, and just know that we can't make a lot of long-term plans right now.
Yeah. It's most of the time I can, when I come to kind of a challenge in leadership, I can usually pick up the phone and call you and say, Ned, tell me what I am supposed to do and what I'm supposed to say. But man, you and I are navigating and leading in something that no one else has ever led in. And so I'm really hoping, I get it. We're all stir crazy. I'm stir crazy. I don't know how much more I can take of this, but we have to have a lot of grace and honor our elected officials, our healthcare professionals. You live with one, so you probably you probably know way more than we know or even want to know about this thing. So
it's back to we don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people, like you say, who know way more than we do about this, and they'll be giving us information. And we as church, as leaders, we're going to need to sit down with that, knowing that everybody, we're not all going to be necessarily of one mind with what to do. What may be legal or allowable may not be comfortable for a lot of our people,
Right.
which means all the stuff that we're doing now with technology, we may, even when it's okay to come back together, we're going to need to keep doing this, because there's going to be a whole bunch of people who are going to say, okay, but I'm not quite ready yet. I need some more time before I feel safe again.
Right. Right. They said um, one of the concerns is one of the traps of when we get back together, we stop our innovation of what we've done through this thing, and we cannot, because I'm with you. Even when we get back together, do you think we'll ever turn and share the peace like we used to, or greet one another?
Yeah.
Do you think it's even is it too risky to even have hymnals in the pews after this? In our
Oh,
seats, and
yeah.
just
Great
all
question.
well, all that kind of stuff that we don't know what it's going to be like yet. So, man, I don't know. All right, let's finish this up. Let's wrap it up. Let's do something. So, what's on the radar for Ned? How is Ned? If you see, like, I'm a Netflix guy. I have gotten sucked into the Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, the Chicago Bulls. But if you're not a Netflix guy, what does Ned do for personal time that just keeps you kind of filled up?
Hmm. Well, one of the things that we are doing as a family now, in our little bits of time off that we can all kind of do together, is hiking. Now that the
Yeah.
weather's nice, the snow is melted, ice is gone. It's like we have some just gorgeous hiking trails
Yeah.
around here. And I'll put a plug in for the Ice Age Trail. We were up there last week. We're probably going to go there again this week. Man, it is such a beautiful, beautiful piece of nature. I encourage everybody to head up there, because it's just it's a gem in Western Wisconsin. So
Yeah, and you have to get up to Devil's Kettle. That's
okay,
just on the other side of Christie Mountain. That's where we all hung out growing up. That's backwoods Bruce, Wisconsin. So, and it's a little hike into waterfalls, but it's Blue Hills waterfalls. So it's just basically a couple rocks where water runs over. But it's beautiful. Took mom and dad up there. Anyways, man, Ned, Tabitha, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Ned, thank you. I know you got a busy day. If people want to help out, help Living Water, help with Ruby's Pantry, just anyway, whether it's monetary, whatever. How can people reach you? Where can they find Ned Lenhart? Facebook?
yep, Facebook's probably the easiest, or message us. Go to our website, livingwatercameron.org, and you can connect with us there. And before I go, I need to say what a great privilege it is to not just to be on this podcast, but to be connected with you. Do they call you Sturgy on this
Yeah,
church?
everybody does.
Pastor
It's
Aaron. Okay.
Pastor Sturgy, Pastor
Yeah.
Aaron Sturgy Sturgis.
All those nice things that Pastor Sturgis said about me, uh, I can say the same about him. You're very blessed to have him as a pastor. You've got a wonderful staff, a great team there, and it's just a privilege to have you, to be connected with you, and to be able to share this time. So thank you so much, and thank you, by the way, for coming up to Living Water while I was gone. Not only did we stream your messages, but you even came up one Sunday morning, which was
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
And the people, by the way, are saying, when can we get him back? So we'll probably be streaming more central messages up to Living
Oh
Water in
man,
the future,
it,
just to let you know.
it was
So
so
thanks
awesome.
for,
I had so much
yeah.
fun. I mean,
Well, thanks for all you're doing, and just keep it up, okay?
yeah, you too. God's blessings. Have safe travels as you head up to Cameron. And again, tune in to Cameron Wednesdays at 6:30 and Sundays at what was it?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. There you go. All right, boss. I'll talk to you later. You take care.
Very
Bye.
good. Thank you.
All right, so there you go. That was Ned. Man, I love him. He's just got an infectious character to him, and it's just awesome. I want to thank everybody for joining me again. Debbie, I know, wasn't it so nice to hear Ned? Bob Prock, good morning to you. And Sue, so awesome to see you as well. Good to see everybody here. Just a reminder, join us tomorrow at noon for prayer and worship on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tiffany, who is our modern director, and myself, we lead you in a simple 15 to 20 minute prayer. You can do it from home, you can do it from work. It's at noon hour. So join us for prayer. And then on Sunday mornings, we have our online experience, 8:30 traditional, 10 o'clock modern worship. I will be back again for Caffeine and Quarantine next Monday. And we have an awesome guest joining me next Monday. I'm super excited about this. His name is Jason Anderson. And Jason Anderson is born and raised Chippewa Falls, awesome guy, and he is the executive director of the Pablo Center in Eau Claire. He's going to be joining us on Monday. So come back here again for Caffeine and Quarantine, your second cup of coffee with Pastor, and remember to always bring Jesus into your first cup of coffee. I love you all. I miss you all, and I will talk to you later. Take care, everybody.